Section 29. In this section, we continue moving through several amazing chapters, starting with Al-Mulk, the sovereignty. Right away, we learn about why God has created life and death. Also, God tells us to look for any imperfections in the heavens and look again and again, but your eyes will return frustrated and weary and will not find any flaws. In the next chapter, Al-Qalam, the pen, God consoles the Prophet, peace be upon him, as a result of the abhorrent things the pagans used to call him. God comforts him by telling him that he is not a madman, and in fact he is a man of the most outstanding character, and that he will see and they will see which of them is afflicted with madness. Now let me take a breath. We come to one of my favorite chapters in the Qur'an. One for me personally is indeed breathtaking. Al-Haqqah, the inevitable reality. Why? From the exquisite recitation in Arabic to the powerful meanings that are conveyed in the irresistible style that it is conveyed in, it leaves you coming back again and again. I'll just make mention of a few monumental passages. In a future event, we are informed with powerful imagery about those who are given their book of deeds in their right hand and those who are given it in their left hand, and what each of them will say and the consequences that follow. Also, in a fascinating few verses, God swears by whatever you see and whatever you do not see, that this Qur'an is the word of a noble messenger revealed from him, the Lord of the worlds, and that it is not the word of a poet nor the word of a fortune teller. Why? Because when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, uttered these words to the people, it sounded like poetry in its eloquent style and poetic flow, and it contains information about the future. And the context in which these particular verses were revealed are just as mind-blowing, relating to one of the greatest companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that is Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, before he embraced Islam. Then leading to an incredible few verses where God says that if Muhammad were to make up anything, falsely attributing it to God, then he would have seized him and cut off his aorta, the life artery connecting the heart, and that no one could have prevented him from doing so. How powerful is that for God to say about his messenger? And so it doesn't make sense for any author to write this about themselves, for those who claim that this Qur'an is the words of Muhammad and he made things up. Then leading up to the end of the chapter, God emphatically states that indeed this Qur'an is the absolute truth without any doubt. So I say, is there any author in the world that can make such a bold claim except for the one who is perfect, the creator of all things, the one and only God? Moving to the next chapter, we find some powerful verses again about the day of judgment, where we learn that no close friend will ask about their friends, that the wicked will want to ransom themselves with their children, their spouses, their siblings, their closest relatives, and all of humanity all together just to save themselves. Also in this section, there is the chapter of Al-Jinn, the Jinn, where we learn more about the world of jinns. They are another creation of God who have intellect like us, and so will face accountability like us. Because amongst them are also believers and disbelievers, but we were created in different ways, and while we cannot see them, they can see us. Then in another chapter, God describes the petrifying nature of hell, saying, what will make you realize what hell is? It does not let anyone live or die. God also describes hell as one of the mightiest catastrophes, a severe warning to humanity. The wicked will be asked, what has landed you in hell? And their descriptive answer is then mentioned. In the last few chapters, we learn more about the day of judgment, and also God enlightens us with some beautiful descriptions of paradise, the ultimate destination the human being aspires to reach. And that brings us to the end of section 29.